All right, guys, we're ready for another episode this week of BeanTown Boxing Banter and Bullshit with myself and AJ Rivera. Shout out to Rivera Promotions. Shout out to Emily Interiors out in Shrewsbury. My buddy Joe Cups this. Big supporter, Platt's Landscaping. We always want to give a shout out to. They kind of helped kick us off here this year. We got a big year coming up for you guys. Big night. We're going to have Bobby Harris III come through with us. Luis Rosa, and my man, Wilfredo Pagan. Let's get to it, guys.
What about Wilfredo?
Wilfredo will be on in one moment. I think he said he was coming with his laptop was updating, so he's coming on right now. So,
word.
All right, so here we are, man. Bobby Harris III, thank you for coming on tonight.
Thank you for having me, boss.
Looking super warm. I'm jealous. AJ with a
I was outside
look.
a little bit today.
Yeah, it's crazy out there,
little
man.
something.
AJ, I told you I thought someone hacked the Zoom, man. It didn't even look like you when you came on, man. That
You gotta change it up every once in a while.
usually rocking that, bro. I love it. So what's going on, fellas? What's going on tonight? I don't know. We got a big fight coming up here in February. Hopefully, you gonna be there, AJ. Framingham. We also got Jo. We got a giant February coming up here.
I'm extremely excited for JO's fight in February. That's gonna be the showstopper of the month for sure.
Unbelievable, man.
100%.
I've watched that fight another 3 times since last week. Yeah, he's gonna. I hope he kills this next dude. But I mean, he's going up.
Oh, it's gonna be fireworks, guaranteed.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt.
I think like he said on the last show, he's gonna show that not only can I mix it up the way that I did with Adorno, but I can be the technician. So I'm gonna show you guys what the technician is. Whether you like it, whether you don't, he's gonna.
He said we didn't see the real technician.
Yeah, exactly. He can really, like, if it weren't for the fact that, he wants to make the fans entertained, he could really make a fight easy and boring if he wants to.
Yeah,
he don't want to get touched and wants to just do whatever he wants. He has that skill set where he could do that.
For sure, 100%.
Too fast, man. Too fast. That's all I could. I mean, the late round combos he came out with after what he went through in the earlier part of that fight, man.
Fast, explosive, and then, like I said, if you've been in the ring, like, you get more of a respect for what he went through, finishing the fight the way that he did, like breathing only out of one. He only had one place to breathe from his mouth.
Yep.
That's so hard. People underestimate how hard that is to be leaking blood like that and not be able to breathe through your nose.
Yep. So another video that was going around, I can't believe it's not viral. Your fight when you were 5. I don't know who was the opponent, man. That dude was a bully.
I don't even remember the kid's name. That was at the Ionic Cat Boys and Girls Club. I wasn't even technically legally able to fight.
Yeah, I don't know if that was even legal. I was like, all right, cool.
You're supposed to be like, I think, like 7 years old.
That's how you know it was a boys' club fight. That's how you know it was a boys' club fight.
You're supposed to be like 7, 8 years old to fight.
AJ had a napkin in his mouth, no mouthpiece.
The gloves bigger than me. My dad got to help me off the stool. He even slapped me one time. You can see in the video, he even slapped me one time. Like, get it together.
5 years old, man. I don't know. You came out throwing, though, man. That was fireworks, man. I don't know where that dude is today, but if you want some smoke, I mean, might have to do that again, man.
He's nowhere to be found.
Matchmaker Mike.
I love it, man. I love it. So, Bobby, what do you got going on? You zoning in on another fight, or what? What's the plan now?
Me, I'm just always trying to stay safe, trying to stay ready, sparring with some of the local guys around in New England. Trying to keep my tools sharp for whatever phone call comes my way. Hopefully we can get another Rivera show going on. and we'll definitely make plans to get up on that one.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. We want to see it, man. The last one was good. I mean, the last couple of performances, man. You're climbing that ladder like everybody else around it, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, hopefully pretty soon we can get to the point where we can start getting some hardware, getting some belts.
The strap, man. That's what we were talking about.
We gotta just stay hungry and stay undefeated.
He's 4-0 now. He can fight for the New England title.
I'm cruising, man. I'm cruising.
The next fight after.
Still undefeated. Still training. Just taking one fight at a time. Happy, free as a bird.
I love it, man. We're all happy tonight. I dig it, man. I dig it. So let's talk the big time, man. Heavyweight division. We got now they're trying to put Tyson Fury and Ngannou out there. Or
actually, I just saw
who?
Is that how you pronounce it?
Francis Ngannou. Yeah. So I did see that, but I just saw that
MMA.
I didn't see that.
I forgot who it was. It might have been Andy Ruiz. It might have been. I'm trying to think of who. Oh no, it was Usyk. Anthony Joshua just accepted, I don't know what 15,000 pounds is, whatever that transfers to US dollars. That's probably like what, $15 million or something. But he just accepted step aside money so Fury could fight Usyk. So Usyk and Joshua signed. Every champion, when you're like a good champion or a great champion, you get to add little things into your contract. So, like, if I'm the undisputed champion, or even if I'm just the regular WBC champion, whatever, I might be giving, let's just say, Bobby an opportunity to fight me. And I tell him, we're going to make this happen at this weight, this day, this time, whatever, blah, blah, blah. There's a rematch clause. So a rematch clause, a lot of champions will put that rematch clause in case they get stunned in that, first fight. They automatically, you can't take any fight after that. That's why the Wilder and Fury fight happened 3 times, because Wilder had a rematch clause in his contract. They got a draw, so they had to fight right away. And then Fury won the second fight, but the rematch clause was still like there because of the first fight. The first fight was a draw. So, and then same thing with Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz. Nobody could take any other fights. Once Anthony Joshua exercises that rematch clause, boom, Andy Ruiz is obligated to fight him or give up that belt.
Okay.
So Anthony Joshua had a rematch clause against that guy Usyk, who's a nasty fighter. Fighter. Big, and he's big too. It's so weird to see him move and fight the way he does. So basically, there was supposed to be an Anthony Joshua Usyk rematch, but now I guess the promoter, Tyson Fury's promoters, just offered Anthony Joshua some step aside money to not exercise his rematch clause, which I think works out for him, because if Usyk wins, then Anthony Joshua gets to rematch Usyk, and he has all the belts because Tyson Fury has that other belt. So I think if Fury wins, but he doesn't have no reason to fight Usyk again. He could just go and fight Fury. So either way, it's like a win-win situation for Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a big payday. And when he does get the rematch, it's going to be for all the belts, not 3 out of the 4. So it's kind of even a more lucrative deal. Like, okay, if I step aside and let these two bust each other's heads open,
right.
I'll watch, I'll observe, I'll see what their weaknesses and their strengths are. And then when I go to fight them, boom, I get all the belts instead of 3 out of the 4.
Anthony Joshua he's just aggravating to watch fight, because he looks like he can be so much better than he is the whole time.
Definitely.
Well, I'm hearing that Anthony Joshua is real heavy, wanting to be in the gym, in the weight room, and looking worried about getting big, worried about being strong, and not too worried about being working on his boxing skill.
Well, he has he reminds me in a way of like the Klitschko. He had very technical boxing, so that's why he's hard to watch. Like, his jab is like slow and stiff. His straight right, he doesn't really let go of combos. And the Klitschko's didn't fight like that either. But I feel like Anthony Joshua just lost a piece of his heart. The first time that he got clipped, because Anthony Joshua used to be a killer. Go back and watch his highlights early on in his career. That dude used to go for blood. Like, even if he got clipped, he used to be out there swinging. And I feel like he got some of his heart taken.
Yeah,
he don't want to take risks no more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There was a couple times where, I watched the Usyk fight. There was a couple times where it looked like he was about to put Usyk out. And I was like, he's about to make a comeback. Oh shit! But then he just kind of got
you gotta remember. Well, not from a fan's point of view, but from a boxer's point of view, there is something called getting too comfortable with the money you're making, the people you're around, and like Oscar De La Hoya said, it's not easy to get up and run in the morning when you're waking up in them silk sheets.
100%. Actually, you know what's crazy too is, speaking of that, yesterday I watched the podcast and I absolutely loved it. It was so awesome to watch. It was a podcast with Miguel Cotto, Paulie Malignaggi, and Zab
Judah. Yeah, I seen
and those
that.
three, mind you, those three all fought each other. And those three are, so Cotto and Judah are Hall of Famers. Paulie has an argument, probably just going to be a good world champion. I don't know if he'll make the Hall of Fame, but so they all had fought each other when they were, at their best and whatnot. It was good to just see them talk, have the respect that they have for each other now in their older ages. They're all retired now. But Paulie said it too, like, in my last fight, you know how I knew I was done and it was really time for me? He goes, I love the money. He's like, I love the spotlight. It was hard for me to step away from that. He goes, but there was a couple things. It was one, I used to spar over 100 rounds to get ready for fights. Now I had to limit myself to like 60 rounds because I would get these stupid injuries. Like, my wrists would hurt, my hands would hurt, elbows, tendonitis in the elbows, blah, blah, blah. He goes, but in the last fight, he got hit with a body shot and he goes, and I legitimately was hurt, but I could have gotten up by the count of 7 or 8. But in my head, I was thinking, do I really want to? Do I really need this? I got money in the bank. Like, when those thoughts start to cross your mind in the ring, that's when he knew it was time to, because a hungry young fighter don't even think about it. He's like, Cotto broke my orbital bone and I went the distance with him. Why? It was early in my career. I needed this fight. He goes, that fight propelled me to the level. Like, he goes, I never fought for cheap money ever again after that Cotto fight. He had things to prove. He had something to fight for. He was, poor. And he's like, once I was sitting there, took the body shot looking at the referee and all these thoughts were going through my mind. And before you know it, the count of 10 happened. He's like, that's when, and that happens. It comes a point in time where when a fighter's accomplished everything they've accomplished and they know they don't have anything to prove, what do they have to get up for? When they know that there's money in the bank and they're not worried about their next fight, they don't have nothing to prove anymore. That stuff really starts to happen to fighters, And then I compare fighters' chins to like a rock. If you grab 2 rocks together and you go, right, it might not break the first, second, third time, right? But how many times could you bang it before it starts to chip away? And I compare that to fighters where, like, a fighter that's never been dropped before, where you see later in their career, all of a sudden they're like weak chin, like they get dropped all the time now. It's things like that do start to happen.
No doubt. I think Tyson Fury, it's funny that you said that because he gives his money away. So he's fighting because he loves, he wants to prove to himself.
Well, Tyson Fury is a freak of nature. Tyson Fury just loves to fight. He was born to fight. Like all his family members is fighters. His brothers, his father put him to fight. He's just a warrior. He just loves to do it. He just loves to fight. You could tell he's crazy. When he fought Deontay Wilder, he's like licking his blood and stuff. And, you could tell the guy loves it. He loves it. He came out to a crazy song, I think. He was like,
huge
crazy,
respect. Huge respect for him. Huge respect, because, for him to go through what he went through, like he was battling like depression, drug addiction, alcohol. Dude blew up to like 340 pounds.
Yeah, huge, man.
And then to come and then he said it best after that fight. He goes, when you hit rock bottom and you beat the mental illness that I was going through, nobody could beat me at that point because that was the lowest.
Yeah.
I beat myself at my absolute lowest. So, you know, I mean, in that punch, that last round punch where it looked like he went to sleep and then all of a sudden he like rose from the dead.
The Undertaker,
Like,
man.
that was like that. Honestly, I would put that up there with, in my 28 years of living, with some of the greatest boxing things I've ever seen. Like one of the greatest boxing things I've ever seen was Diego Corrales and
down in history for years and years. One of the most greatest moments in all weight classes of all boxing. That moment right there.
Yeah, hands down. And for me, the greatest moment up until that point was Diego Corrales versus Jose Luis Castillo. So a boxing round is scored. If I win the round just straight up, it's 10-9. If I get a knockdown, it's 10-8. If I get another knockdown, it's 10-7. So that puts me up pretty much 3 rounds off 2 knockdowns, you know? So Diego Corrales in round 10, he got knocked down twice. So that makes it a 10-7 round. And then he got a point deducted because he kept spitting out his mouthpiece, you know, trying to get some more time to recover. Referee, so now you're looking at a 10-6 round, and the 10th round of a close fight. Like that round was like a deciding moment. I remember Joe Goosen, or was it Dan Goosen? It was one of the Goosen brothers that was his trainer at the time, said, "You better fucking get inside on him now." And Diego Corrales just, he stopped Jose Luis Castillo. He ended up stopping him in that round. It was crazy. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in boxing. Like, this dude was done. He was finished. Eye closed, dropped twice, point deducted. He was finished. And he ended up finishing Jose Luis Castillo. So it was like those two for me are the greatest boxing moments I've ever seen.
I'll check that out after, man. That's a fight that's
round 10.
You
I'm telling you, Mike, when you watch it, you're gonna be like, yo, why is this fight not talked about enough? Like, you're gonna be like, holy shit. Like, you wouldn't even believe it. It was nuts.
Love it, man. Love it. So what do we know about the Crawford Spence fight? Is that going on? Is it gonna be him or is it gonna be Porter?
Really trying their best to roast that fight up real good. I think they're trying to get to the point where Errol Spence, I think, is gonna fight Ugas next. And after Errol Spence fights Ugas, Terrance Crawford will probably be forced to fight another top guy. It all depends on Keith Thurman does as well. Keith Thurman back in the picture. Keith Thurman wins this fight coming up, which he should, which I got him winning. That puts him right back in the mix because Keith Thurman only really lost to one guy, and that one loss he lost to one of the greatest fighters to ever walk the earth, Manny Pacquiao. So I think that puts Keith Thurman right back in the mix. So I think they're really trying to roast this Crawford Errol Spence stuff up just as much as they did Pacquiao and Mayweather. I mean, we waited how long, AJ, for Pacquiao and Mayweather? We waited for
7.5 years.
Stupid.
7.
So here's the catch-22 with that. What they're trying to do is they're trying to make it lucrative for both fighters, where in one fight you can win all the belts. Because here's the thing. Terrance Crawford has his belts, Spence has his, but then Ugas managed to steal one. So now it's like, yeah, I just beat the best fighter at my division. Now I'm the best fighter, whatever. Because Spence and Crawford, they're right there. We really don't know who the best is at 47, because they're both that much of bad boys. But now there's another belt.
I know who the best fighter is in 47.
So
I know who he is.
I just think the fight, unfortunately for me, it still would be great to watch. I think, unfortunately, things in life happen, but the fight already has a question mark over it. And the reason being is between the horrific car accident that Errol Spence went through and then tearing his orbital bone, you kind of really don't know if he's even the same guy. Terrance Crawford's
that's true.
also,
we don't know.
Terrance
Because
Crawford's
I
also
still
in his
believe
early...
that Errol Spence fought Danny Garcia when Danny Garcia for me, Danny Garcia is already a comfortable fighter. He got his real estate, he got his money, he got his big nice house.
Oh yeah,
He-
Danny Garcia is a prize fighter at this point. It's whenever I need a lump sum. That's what it's like look at it as a lump sum loan. I'm gonna sacrifice my body real quick, whether I win or lose, and I'm gonna get a very nice check. There's certain fighters that have built themselves up to like a minimum kind
I
of
do
payday.
find it very interesting that Danny Garcia is going on 154. I think that's real fun.
I think one, there's no one left for him to fight at 40. He's fought everyone at 47. I think the only one he hasn't fought is Crawford. But he just it comes a point in time. There's certain people who are just thick. They're just thick people. And like my dad, for example, like he couldn't make 47 anymore, and he almost found that out the hard way. You know, collapsing and fainting in the hotel room. You know, getting woken up with 2 bags of IV. Like there comes a point in time where the body just says no mas. And I think Danny Garcia started his career at 140, eventually fought at 47, been at 47 for a lot of years. You know, it's the body, as you become a full-blown grown man, just can't do certain things anymore. And I think the only fight left for him at 47 is Crawford. And if he's not gonna get that fight, what's the point of me staying there? The money's at 54. You know, and it was the same thing. A lot of people thought
he probably don't got no fights, but there's a couple fights that could still. So I think him and Keith Thurman would be a real nice rematch.
He fought Thurman already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it would be a really, really good rematch because the fight was pretty close. It was a real good fight, and I would pay to watch it again. I would pay to watch.
Yeah, no, definitely. I just think if I'm him, I think where Keith Thurman messed up is he took too much time off the Pacquiao fight to where the point where like a lot of people forgot about him. Like Keith Thurman was also one of the I call them like the 3 henchmen. The 3 henchmen of that division were like Errol Spence, Terrance Crawford, and Keith Thurman. They were all undefeated. They were all fighting top guys. Like Thurman had fought Sean Porter, had fought Danny Garcia, etc. And they all done fought each other, you know? And then when Thurman fought Pacquiao and he got his first loss of his career, he let too much time go by. Like boxing is all about kind of like, and music in the way, it's like clout. It's like the buzz. You got to keep your buzz going. Whether you like, that's one thing that Adrian Broner did a really good job of. Like when Adrian Broner would lose, he would still stand in the ring and look everyone in the face and say some outlandish ass shit. So he just kept his relevancy going. You know, there was still like, even now, people will still mention him. People will still like, they were talking about Gervonta Davis moving up to 47, either 140 or 147, and possibly fighting Broner. Like the fact that his name is even still mentioned and he fights once a year, once every couple years, it's because he keeps his name, he keeps you know, reeling us in.
Well, the thing about Keith Thurman, like I was saying before, he still has the thing with Keith Thurman is that what he's using with his career is that he still has a very good resume where he has bragging rights over beating guys like Danny Garcia and over beating guys like Sean Porter, who gave Errol Spence the hardest fight that he's had.
100%.
Errol Spence has had a very difficult fight with Sean Porter, and so did Keith Thurman. But Keith Thurman has the bragging rights of saying, "Hey guys, I can still be in the mix because I still beat the top guys that you guys have also beat, and guess what? I'm still here." So he definitely
has bragging rights. But I think at this point in his career, like for example, they're using him against Barrios, 2 guys who have coming off losses, because one of those guys is going to stay at this tier, and the guy that loses is now going to go to this tier. So the guy that wins is going to be back in that conversation with the Spences, the Crawfords, or even go
wins what the Earl Spence fight.
And then the guy that loses, so let's say it's Barrios that loses, right? He goes to this tier. And what happens in this tier is guys like Jaron Ennis, guys like who else is over there? But basically what I'm saying is those up and coming guys like Rashidi Ellis. So Rashidi Ellis, Jaron Ennis, those guys who have 20 fights or more, young, undefeated, climbing their way up the rankings, those guys need a guy like Barrios to get over that hump. Because Barrios was once a former world champion. So now when he loses, if he loses to Thurman, he goes in that like credible journeyman category. And those young guys need to beat those kind of guys to get the opportunity to fight the Porters, the Spences, the Garcias, etc. So like, let's say Barrios loses to Thurman. Thurman will automatically go up to the next category, probably in the mix with Spence and Crawford. And then Barrios, don't be surprised if you see Barrios end up fighting like Jaron Ennis or Rashidi Ellis or any of those young top guys at 47 that need to make their names, they need to make a statement for themselves. They use that a lot with a lot of former world champions that are not versions of themselves anymore. The last payday that a journeyman world champion will get is usually against a young, hungry. Like my dad actually my dad was retired actually. When he announced that he was coming back, he actually got a call for Canelo Alvarez when Canelo Alvarez was up and coming.
Now that's the last topic I wanted to hit on.
Those guys start to feast off the old world champions because that's what they need to get to the hump.
Right. I think so. Explain how that works, AJ. Like to make yourself a mandatory opponent in the Boo situation with Canelo.
So here's the thing: the mandatories are legit up until a point. The mandatories to me, excuse my language, bullshit. Because only certain.
It's all about your clout. It's all about your family. It's all about who you know. That's why Boo Boo is trying the best he can. Come at these guys' press conferences, talk about them in interviews, and he's going to all the shows, he's going to all the fights, and he's trying to get his face in all the mix so his face can be recognized and the fans can eventually demand this fight to the point where, you know, people are saying, I don't want to fight, want to watch Canelo fight unless it's Boo Boo, or I don't want to watch someone else fight unless it's Boo Boo. Like,
so it's like
so back to your question, Mike. Basically, the mandatories only apply to certain fighters, which is fucked up. So if you're just a regular champion like Ugis is a legit world champion. He beat Manny Pacquiao, but before he beat Manny Pacquiao, I forgot who he beat, but he was a world champion before too. Somebody like him who doesn't have clout to make demands, he's got to go with his mandatories. My dad was a world champion. My dad wanted to fight, you know, this guy, that guy, but Don King's like, no. WBA is like, no, you got your mandatories, you know. But when you're Floyd Mayweather and you're Canelo Alvarez, you look those guys in the face and say, you want me to represent your strap? Fuck off. I fight who I want.
Right.
And they'll just step back. And they'll step back because you are the cash cow. You're the face of boxing right now. They're not going to risk you just saying, you know what? F your title. I don't need your title and giving it up. Because Floyd's done that before. Floyd's won titles and then just said, I'm not going to defend it, and did his own thing. You know, he makes the money. It's Floyd that's making the money, not the green belt around his waist. And Canelo Alvarez is in the same position because Canelo has avoided a lot of his mandatories. But he's, fortunately for him, it's unfortunate for the fans, but it's fortunate for him. He's in a position where he can look promoters in the face. He could look TV networks in the face and WBA and WBC and all those sanctioning bodies in the face and say, this is who I want. You're either with it or F you.
Basically what McGregor does.
He generates that much money that you're not going to risk him just walking away like that. You're going to just be like, all right. We'll let you fight Rocky Fielding. Like,
yeah.
Okay, whoever that guy is, you can fight him. Like, you know, it sucks, but it's unfortunate. And I just think that I think Floyd blessed Canelo's career in a way that Canelo could never even have imagined. So I think he should do the same and for this era, bless another fighter in a way that they've never even imagined, you know? Because realistically, you wouldn't be where you are today if it wasn't for Floyd, if you didn't take that little old school ass whooping from Floyd.
Yeah.
So, and then, I mean, like I said, I told you on the last podcast, I can't personally respect a guy telling another fighter, who are you, what have you done? I'm not going to fight you because what have you done? But then you go and you fight Paul Smith, Liam Smith, Rocky Fielding. Who are these guys?
Right.
You know, his most best.
What he's doing. Canelo knows that it's high risk, low reward when he fights a guy against Boo Boo. Boo Boo is a guy that's southpaw. He's an Olympian. He's experienced. He's undefeated. He's a real champion. 3-time world champion, right? Is he 3-time world champion? He's a real champion.
No, Boo Boo. How about this? My dad, when my dad was getting ready, the last couple fights of my dad's career at a world championship level, he was fighting Luis Collazo, who was a southpaw, Daniel Santos, who was a southpaw, and Travis Sims, who was a southpaw. So Boo Boo, who's a local Rhode Island guy, he was actually getting ready for the Olympics. He was fighting at a national level and getting ready for the Olympics. My dad's two major sparring partners were Edwin Rodriguez and Boo Boo. And Boo Boo was 16 years old, and my dad had said it in the gym, like this kid's gonna be a world champion one day.
I was 100%. Just
fully confident in when he said it. This kid is going to be a world champion one day, and my dad was right. This kid's not. And what sucks is just like the Errol Spence comment that I made earlier, that it's gonna be a little tainted. If that Boo Boo fight does happen, it's tainted because let's be real here. Boo Boo's in his early mid-30s as well. He's nasty. He's still nasty. But is he the nasty that he was 4 or 5 years ago? You know, you're only getting older. And the worst thing that could happen in boxing is inactiveness. Because you don't get that timing back. You don't, it's not easy to get that ring rust off. So it's is he really going to be fighting the best version of Boo Boo? By the time Canelo finally says, all right, fuck it, let's fight. Is it the best version of Boo Boo that, we know? We know.
It was still the only problem in boxing. The fights go, it seems like.
Exciting fight. Boo Boo knows, whether if it's 5 years ago or 5 years from now. Boo Boo will always know how to fight, and it will be a very exciting. It's just about who knows what in the game, and maybe, who knows, maybe Boo Boo has something that Canelo has never seen before.
I still think Boo Boo beats him. Unbiased aside, I still think Boo Boo beats him. Canelo has notoriously not done well against southpaws, and he notoriously has not done well against guys who won't stand in front of him.
This close. Caleb Plant, and you know what? Shout out Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant was this close. He had him. Caleb Plant had him. Sergey Kovalev, actually, I've never seen Sergey. So Sergey Kovalev is known as the Crusher. The Crusher Kovalev. He knocks guys out. When he fought Canelo, he didn't even try to knock him out. He literally just used his reach and height and outboxed him the whole fight. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, clipped. Billy Joe Saunders was handling his own till out of nowhere, slip, clip. And when he clips you, it's when he's breaking eye sockets, and that's not normal. He's still eating that Mexican meat.
I got Boo Boo. I don't like Canelo. I just don't. I don't. His demeanor in that press conference is I don't like that. Whatever.
I'm shaking.
What do you think?
Tell me he's not. Tell me he's not. This dude's breaking orbital bones, breaking skulls with one punch out of nowhere. He'll be losing the whole fight, getting out box. You have to stay perfect against Canelo all 3 minutes of all 12 rounds.
I know they train hard in Mexico. I know.
Phenomenal, man.
You know what I would love? I would love.
Fight soon. I'm a big fan of Garcia, man. I think he's underrated.
Who?
Ryan Garcia.
Hey, Mike, this guy, one thing you're going to learn about this guy is he likes to get people riled up. Specifically me.
What we need, man.
Specifically me. That's why he made that comment right now. Because he's like, I'm gonna stir the pot real quick.
Listen,
He likes to see his big bro get riled up.
Oh, this is true. True. Ryan Garcia is still a very underrated fighter. He's real good.
Don't get me wrong. He has a lot of skill. He's got a lot of skill. I just think, unfortunately for him, boxing's a roller coaster ride. So there's some years where a certain division is very weak. There's some years where a certain division is very strong. Unfortunately for Ryan Garcia, he ain't effing with nobody at his weight class. He's not beating Teofimo. He's not beating Devin Haney. He's not beating Jermaine Ortiz. He's not beating Gervonta Davis.
He has a chance to beat any one of those guys.
He don't.
He has that. Listen, Ryan Garcia has that left hook, that quick to him. That if anybody gets slapped with it at the right time, and you know what? I believe him when he says that he can beat Tank. I don't know if he can beat Tank, but I believe him when he says that he can, because he obviously sees something in his height and his size that's perfectly real quick.
So
Ryan,
my thing about it is, I'm not doubting his skill. I'm not doubting his skill. I'm not doubting his height, his speed. I'm not doubting any of that. Where my doubts come from with him, are you a TikTok star or are you a boxer? Are you already at a comfortable stage in your life, or are you still a hungry young lion? So my thing, where I question him is his heart. The champ.
Lomachenko could not stop. Ryan Garcia stopped. Think about that one. And Lomachenko is supposed to be supreme.
The champ is here.
Little insight on Lomachenko, because I was out there with Jermaine in California, and I know a lot of things I'm not supposed to say, but for one thing I will say is that Lomachenko, for him to not stop that guy, and Ryan Garcia did, we gotta still put that guy in the mix.
Hey, so then we'll just ask, since Wilfredo's new to this conversation, we'll just ask Wilfredo, what do we think about Ryan Garcia?
Oh shoot, Wilfredo's here.
Oh man, having trouble over here. Technical problems over here, but I got it. I mean, I have to get my wife to help me.
Hey, it's all right.
I think I'm getting hit too much. My brain wasn't functioning right.
The women in our life.
Exactly. Yeah.
Love it, man.
So Ryan Garcia, what I think about Ryan Garcia? I don't know. Something's going on with him, because every time he's getting set for a good fight, like he got a bunch of excuses. I don't know how true it is. Like mentally, it wasn't right. Then he got hurt. So and then Canelo, I don't know how true it was. Canelo say something about that he need to get his ass in the gym. He need to be, he's wasting his talent. The kid has talent. He got some speed. He got some power. But I don't know. I don't know if he believes in himself. Something's going on. So
I heard it.
I agree.
That the last I heard, he was going through some mental problems. He was going through some mental health kind of things. I know I heard rumors where he was breaking up with his wife and he got another pregnant, and all these outside things that are
yeah, that we don't know exactly. So
oh man, look at this.
Everybody
one of the best coaches in the game.
Here we go.
Yeah, what's up, man? How you guys doing?
Oh shoot.
Here, hanging in here.
We gotta ask Coach now too.
I thought you guys were done already. I said I'm late.
Nah.
Hey, I just joined.
You know how boxing conversations go. They carry on. So we're gonna ask you, Coach, from your perspective, what do you think of Ryan Garcia?
Ryan Garcia, wow. He's talented. He's, he got good pop in his left hand, not his right hand, but his left hand is pretty good, decent. But he's beatable, like he's nothing that we haven't seen. He's like, they hyped him up a lot. So that's what I think. That's why he's like a YouTuber almost, like he's famous out there.
Yeah. So do you agree with me when I say for me, I feel like he's already maybe in a comfortable position in life with TikTok, YouTube, whatever. Maybe he didn't go through like a rough upbringing. Who know what it is? I think he has all the skill. Maybe he has all the skill set to be one of the best, but I think that he lacks the heart. And everyone knows in this sport of boxing, when the going gets rough and your skills fail, what carries you in a fight? It's not your skills no more. It's your balls and your heart. And one thing I question with him is, does he got the heart when he fights somebody who's really about that life? Somebody like Tank Davis, somebody like Teofimo Lopez, somebody like Devin Haney. You know, how's he gonna fare against those guys when they really they're hungry? They're really hungry. It's do or die for them. You know, Ryan Garcia's a little pretty boy. He could make money being an actor if he really wanted to. He don't need boxing.
He don't need boxing. He already made enough money and he's still making money where he don't have to fight. I don't think he has to fight anymore. I don't think he's hungry enough to continue to fight.
I think also his ego is so up there that he's afraid to lose. Like if he lose, everything's gonna go down.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going on.
And I really thought that Javier Fortuna fight was gonna be a good fight.
Yeah, I thought Fortuna was gonna get him.
I thought that was gonna be a good fight. Because I think unlike Garcia, I think Fortuna is just enough hungry to be like, this is my shot. This is my shot. This is my opportunity.
A lot meaner. I think Fortuna would have given him the works.
One thing I didn't like, I know things happen in sparring, and sparring is not the same as fighting. But when I saw Rolly roughing up Garcia, I was like, man, when you make a fight rough and tough and dirty, he's not gonna. That pretty boy style only works when you got a guy that lets you think and feel comfortable. But when you got a guy that's in your grill, what happens? That pretty boy style goes out the way.
And Rolly's not even the fastest guy out there, but you know,
he was roughing him up.
Yeah.
And you can tell, like, you know, Campbell hurt him like badly, but just Campbell didn't finish. He didn't do anything. After he hurt him, he stayed there and like
Campbell got pillow hands.
Yeah, he's not a puncher. He's just very technical.
And put him down.
He get up, but Campbell didn't follow. It just wait.
If that same exact punch was from a Tank
Fortuna,
or from a Teofimo, he don't get up from that. He don't even get up.
I think Fortuna would have knocked him out. To me, hopefully they make that fight. It should happen.
That would be nice. That'd be nice for Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, I want to congratulate you and your camp on that most recent win on Showtime.
Good luck, man. Thank you. Appreciate that.
No problem. Tell me what's going on in what's the update with you and your guys and how things going?
Oh, they're gonna fight. Jeffrey is gonna be the main event, and Felix, they're gonna fight on the 26th of February.
Okay.
They're gonna, we're working. They stay in the gym, so it's not that hard to get them back in.
Felix is already what, like 4-0 already?
He's gonna be 4-0 after this one.
Damn, so he's already fought like 4 times in the last few months. He just turned pro.
Yeah, and like in maybe 3 months, he's gonna have 4 bouts.
Okay,
Yep.
Okay. And then what's the next moves for William?
I'm hoping that we get another good name. We're ready. William got tagged up in the first round. First minute and a half. The guy came in strong, a punch. But he didn't take a beating after that. He was fine. I told him, okay. I asked him, "You good?" He said, "No, I'm good." He called me the first few times. I guess William, he fights so relaxed that I think he was just waiting. Maybe the guy was gonna go in space, but the guy jumped on him quick and surprised him, and kind of woke them up at the same time. When they hit you like that, sometimes it wakes you up. If you're in shape, it wakes you up. But if you're not in shape, you want to sleep.
And if you got heart, if you're like, okay, all right, okay, mother effer, we here now. Let's go. So, and then what's next moves for Charles too?
Charles, a lot of people don't want to give him the opportunity, but the other day they gave us a good opportunity with Joe Smith, but there was only a week notice.
Oh, that'd be a great fight.
Yeah, I know we could beat him. But
Charles is fast and he's a southpaw. That'd be a nice fight.
I think we could school him up and box him, be smart with it, and beat him unanimous. Because those stuff.
Did we talk about Felix Pereira yet?
Yeah, we just mentioned Felix.
I just wanted to get it in. That's my guy. I called him a couple of 2 podcasts ago. That's my guy. Man.
I was just going through Coach's stable just now. We talked about William, Charles, Felix, and then what about what about Anwell? What's next for Anwell?
Well, he was waiting for y'all to do a show, but I don't know what happened at the time. But I guess you changed the date.
Yeah.
Right?
We're gonna be instead of going in March, we're thinking about April now. We're thinking about April. See, in Massachusetts, I don't know what's going on in Connecticut, but in Massachusetts, a lot of restrictions were starting to heighten up over here with COVID.
Oh, wow.
Boston completely shut down. Like, you need a vaccination card for everything. And we were hearing, but Boston, you need a vaccination card just like New York to get into restaurants, everything. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I was hearing that Worcester might do the same thing. So me and my dad were kind of like waiting to hear, because we don't want to like book a show, book a date, and then all of a sudden halfway through when all this money's invested, hey guys, your fighters, the fans, everyone needs vaccination cards. That would mess everything up. So we were kind of waiting to hear, but Worcester turned down the mandate. They voted against it, so Worcester won't be doing the mandate. So now we're looking to plan for April.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, that Wells fight was insane, man. That was up there with these guys' fight over here, man. Bombs. He had a crowd too. I don't know if you take a look at my video, I zoom up right into his section, man. He's got a dude came down and fought in that ring that night with him.
He a lot of people follow him, and that's without him being active for the last 2 years. He's, and he was real heavy. He wasn't in tip-top shape to fight, because he was coming down like from 185, 190, and what since AJ offered to fight, he started cutting weight and running, sparring, hitting the bag, and his body didn't look good, but for the next one he'll be in tip-top shape.
Yeah, no, I knew Anwell was a killer. I matched up his pro debut on. I was the matchmaker for a show June 16th, 2018 at the Xfinity Theater in Connecticut. Yeah. I match-made Anwell's pro debut, and then Anwell came to Worcester one time as well. So I see what he looks like at 135. Kid's a killer. Like, if you think about it, he was bullying someone at 154, and he's not a 154 fighter. Like, imagine if he was able to bully someone at 154 like that, imagine what he's doing at 135. Like, it's scary to think what that kid could do at 35. Like, he doesn't got 35 power, I'll tell you that much. You can see that. He belongs there with the big boys.
Yeah. Hopefully we stay busy now, and it is what it is. That COVID season kind of like slowed down everybody, and he's a big eater, so it was easy for him to catch up on weight.
He's Hispanic. It's all our problems.
Hey, rice and beans, rice and beans.
Yeah, I think we gotta break that curse, that rice and bean every day.
What's the crazy thing?
Is the women and the males. We got beautiful bodies when we're young, and then when we hit 40, it's like, oh, what happened?
And the thing with me, I don't eat a lot of rice and beans. Believe it or not, it's like mofongo. That's what I love.
Oh, you like the heavy stuff.
That's what is freaking boom, it's gonna freaking jump me out like crazy. But hey,
The
this is
mofongo
what
and
it is.
the fried meat. That's what's killing you. The fried meat.
So,
But
Wilfredo, you've been staying
that's
in
what
the
Puerto
gym.
Ricans like.
Yes, been working out. You know, my heart still hurt, but I have to let it out in the gym. You know, still working out, try to maintain my weight because I don't want to like suffer and anything like that. So I want to try to keep my weight
If you
as
stay
low
ready,
as
you ain't got to get ready, baby.
so.
That's right.
So your third fight with Wilfredo, or is that still time?
So I think so. Here's how I look at it right now. Right, I would have agreed to a third fight, but the way things ended in that last fight, things gotta die down a little bit. The fans can't be trusted. I can't put my insurance and my bond, my promoter's license on the line if fans ain't gonna cooperate and just be fans. You know, it's one thing to cheer and to boo. It's another thing when, you know, this fan base is fighting with this fan base, and it's just, you know, at this point, the beef gotta die down a little bit.
That's true, but you're always going to have that. I just think, you know, it shouldn't happen, but you're always going to have that if you got real fans with heart there, man. I don't want dead fans.
Yes and no, but you know how many boxing trilogies? Like, look at Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward. They didn't have fans fighting in the stands.
Right.
You know, it was a beautiful trilogy. Fans got to remember this trilogy for life. Like, it's the most talked about trilogy in boxing. And it was respectful. Gotti had his fans. Ward had his fans. It is what it is. Your fighter got the best 2 out of 3. You know, our fighters still put up a great fight. People got to remember, it's still a sport at the end of the day. And I feel like despite all the shit talking that happens before fights, 9 out of 10 times when the fight is over, those fighters love each other.
Yeah,
that's right.
9 out of 10 times.
Well, you can see in our fight at the end, like I probably started up, you know, because I wasn't. It's like
you were fired up. You were fired up. I saw it in you. You were different. You weren't your normal self. You were fired up. You let your emotions, but then you went back down, and then
and then like I realized, it is what it is. Like I felt like, you know, I beat him, so whatever, and I can't let that get the best of me. I'm older enough, I'm matured enough, I'm professional, so I have to like calm down and whatever.
You know what? I thought you won that fight. I go on record and say I thought you won that fight.
Yeah.
The first fight, to be honest, it could have been either way.
Yeah.
Fight, this one, you're a little bit more in his face, a little bit more aggressive, and you could tell there was a difference in you between the first fight and the second fight. I'll give you that second fight.
Yeah, I definitely saw the adjustments. I saw 100% the conditioning, the adjustments were definitely different on Wilfredo's part. The first fight, I agree with Bobby. So I personally, and I told this before even the scorecards were announced, I told it to Dave actually before the 6th round. I had went up to Dave and said, if Wilfredo wins this round, it'll be a draw. And I told Nate the same thing with Carlos. When the fight was over, I was like, I think this fight was a draw because I had given Wilfredo, it was, if I remember correctly, it was the first and second. No, it was the first. It was the first round, and then I gave Carlos 2, 3, and 4, and then I gave Wilfredo 5 and 6. So that would make it 3-3. You know, and I could have saw it either way. I wouldn't have been mad at either one decision, but that's how I saw it. Wilfredo the first, Carlos second, third, and fourth, Wilfredo 5th and 6th. The second fight, I go as far as saying like 4-2 Wilfredo. Yeah, like 4 rounds to 2 Wilfredo. I was so shocked when
I lost.
I personally think because of what happened, my opinion, and I could be wrong. I think because of what happened in the first fight with people crowding the ring, I think the judges were scared of that in this fight. I think they just, man. I don't know. That's what I feel like they were scared of that this fight. They were scared of something popping off, or so they were like, you know what? We can't pick a winner. If we pick a winner and all out brawl, it's gonna be malice in the palace. Like, you know,
You know, this is a championship fight, and you want to fight. You know, you want to go trying to get it, and you got a guy that's is coming forward, is landing punches. You got the other guy complaining with the ref all night, hogging a lot, and it's like,
No, you
it's a
definitely
championship
outworked
fight.
him. I saw the demeanor was definitely a little bit different in this fight. Like in the first fight, he was ready to bang with you. You know, you would bang with him, pop, 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 but then he would be right there, ready to bang. And then in this fight, when you would bang with him, he didn't respond back the way that when you made him uncomfortable, like when he was able to box and have that space, he was good. But when you made it uncomfortable, I saw that he didn't respond too well. That's things like this, whether it's a local level or a championship level, I think this is why boxing should have an odd number of rounds.
Absolutely. I agree with
Draws aren't a bad thing, but when, like, I'm gonna give you another example. Charlo and Centeno. Centeno won that fight. And that kid will never be able to live that glory through his kids, through his family, whatever. He'll never officially, like, he knows in his heart he won, but he'll never be able to officially be like, yeah, I beat him. You know, he'll probably lose the rematch because Charlo makes good adjustments and stuff, just like in the Harrison fight. Lost the Harrison fight and then stops Harrison in the second fight. But the first fight, he won. And I feel like what happens at the elite level, the 12-round level, is when the guy who's supposed to win loses, they just give it a draw instead of him losing.
No,
you know,
it's just like me, how I felt. Like everybody's telling me, like, I got still people talking about the fight, like even right now. And people like, oh, Fredo, you won the fight. You know, I mean, you feel proud. I'm like, yeah, that makes me feel good, but that's only gonna last for a little bit. In a couple months from now, like, you're not gonna hear it. And then, like, what's gonna happen next? Who knows what's gonna happen to me next on the next fight? It's not that I'm negative. It's just I'm mature enough that in boxing anything can happen. So I'm like, yeah, I felt good, but inside I'm not. It hurts. So the only way I can fix that is get in another fight and knock whoever, you know. Now I don't trust the judges. You know, I have to find a way how to knock someone out.
Yeah, we gotta figure this out, man. We gotta figure these judges out, man. You can't be scared to do your job. This guy should have a strap around his waist. That's it, really. But I mean, yeah, everyone knows you won that fight. I get what you're saying too, but the difference I saw in this fight was like you see, like I said with the other one, I zoom in on Carlos's face in between rounds, and he looked defeated. They even his head was down every single round. That wasn't his demeanor in the first fight.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was getting at.
It was a lot into it. I worked so hard. It was, you know, like I say, it was a lot of trash talking. It was things was getting personal, but I was mature enough to use that to, you know, to help me train more. You know, and mentally everything works out good. Everybody was afraid of my family, like that I was going to take it the other way around, that I was going to be like a street fight, that I'm going to waste all my energy in one round trying to, no. So I'm like, he trying to play mind games with me, but that's going to be, I'm going to use that against him. And that's what happened. I think mentally, I fucked him up. I bit him already before we get in the ring. So it's just because maybe he knew that he screwed up. He don't want to admit it, but
yeah, I think so. I think you're absolutely right. I
think if I entertained a third fight between them, it would have to be I'd have to see if the commission will approve 7 rounds instead of 6. We're gonna do 7. So that way there can never be a draw.
7 or 8 rounds, 9 rounds, and someone have to fucking put the knee down because it's tired or whatever.
Anonymous judges, we're gonna make sure this happens the right way this time. So, Coach Rosa, what do you think about that fight?
You know what? I saw the first round because I had to leave. I was with Chino, Elva's father, and he had to go to work that night. So he said he had to make it over here before 12. So I saw the first round, and I thought Carlos moving good. I saw this guy press him, but I knew that with the pressure, pressure was piped. So I knew that if the fight would go long, it would be more beneficial for this guy, the lefty.
Wilfredo.
Yeah,
Wilfredo Pagan. If the fight would have been like stop, a TKO early, it would have been good for Carlos. But I said, if the fight goes past 3 rounds, it's gonna be Pagan winning by unanimous decision. Because the other kid is
I
tough,
love that phrase, pressure burst pipes.
and that kid, the other kid has got a good left hook. He was throwing some good combinations, but I had to leave right after the first round took off. So I wasn't there.
I like
But everybody told me that they thought that Pagan won.
Yep, we got it. It is across the board. I haven't talked to anybody that thinks so. Only Nate. Nate is the only one.
Actually, some people have told me they thought Pagan won more this fight than they did the last fight.
Yeah.
And the last fight was a draw.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
this is crazy. It's crazy to me, but I mean,
I didn't see the last one either.
No, the last one was like you put a tire in the ring and you have the guys step in front of the tire and they just beat it. That was the first fight.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was like what that was from 1 to 6. That was the first fight.
Yeah.
The two guys in the tire in the middle of the ring.
And I didn't have no energy. I was throwing punches, but it's like I didn't felt that like no power. Just like, like that's the way I am, but I didn't have that power. I didn't have that. On this one, I felt like good. I felt good, and I'm like, I'm coming for you. And then inside, just everything. I was just like,
that's
and
why
he was going off, trying to like, doing this when I was missing pictures and shit like that. And I'm like,
I think in the mentality of, okay, the first fight, I kind of fed into Pagan's game and tried to brawl with him, and that's why I got a draw. And then the second fight, I think he had the mentality of, okay, maybe I could try to box this guy and make myself look good against a guy who's to me. But the reason why I say Pagan won the fight, because he was making the fight happen. He was pressuring the action. He was in his face. He was on his chest. And he like you said, you could see in the other guy's face, he was not comfortable at all the whole time.
Definitely, 100% agree. I want to switch sides. So Coach, I noticed in the last couple of years, you guys called out Berlanga. You guys still want that?
They don't want it. They know what time it is. He got a good record, but he hasn't fought Elvis. So, and Elvis put it on him when Berlanga was the top amateur. That Elvis beat him up pretty easy, and we worked him. And he was stopping people in the amateurs. And I told Elvis, you're gonna have to fight toe to toe with this guy the first minute, because he's not gonna back off for you. And that's what we did. First minute we banged with him to the body and the head, and then like in 45 seconds into the first minute, he backed off. And I said, now we're gonna jab our way in and throw our combination to the body and head. And it was one of the easiest fights in the tournament, actually. But Berlanga's not gonna take it because he knows what's at stake.
It goes to show you, Mike, for those like casual boxing fans, for the people who don't know boxing, like the difference between the legit guys and the hyped up guys. Sometimes just the right team makes or breaks the money you make.
Yeah,
that's just all it is. You got the right manager, the right team. Where you're from. New York has the good. I feel like New York, they support. New York is a good support system. Like, so, but you hear it right there, and Berlanga's on TV. He's about to be fighting main event.
Yeah. Good for him. No hate over here. I guess we'll catch him down the road, Hopefully, I don't want to catch him when he loses, because it's not going to be worth anything to me. But I want him when he's still undefeated. So we're going to cheer for him so he don't lose until he step in the ring with us.
Man, I love that. Love that. That's phenomenal, man. Fantastic.
But, this is boxing. We want our guys to win and become champions. But at the end of the day, we love all the fighters, no matter what. We don't want nobody really seriously hurt coming out of the ring. Like we seen a lot of these guys that are brain, have brain damage. We don't want that for nobody. But when you step in that ring, you're gonna go in there to try to destroy your opponent. Because if not, and if he has the opportunity, he's gonna destroy you. So
Yeah.
it's a tough sport.
Yeah, and that right
Tough
there is
sport.
what I never connected. Like I always tell these guys, I was never like a lifelong diehard boxing fighting, yeah. But I never understood like the sport of it, what goes into it, what these guys go through,
Oh yeah.
the
It's chess.
strategy,
It's a chess match.
I never
So
really got
it's
that. I
a
love
chess.
it.
It's a chess match inside the ring, but the politics outside the ring are enough that if you truly don't love what you're doing, or if you truly don't, because some guys just need to fight because it's all they have. If you don't need it or love it, it's enough to make you quit. You know how many times my dad has retired under a Don King contract where he's just like, I've had enough.
Yeah.
Because the politics outside of boxing were just so much to break a man that they're like, you know what? I'd rather just not deal with it at all.
Yeah.
It sucks, but that's why I'm a fan with I think who mentioned it when we were last Jermaine. He mentioned it when we were last on the podcast together, unionizing the sport and making sure our fighters are taken care of. I'm definitely a fan for that.
I thought that was great.
A lot of promoters are gonna hate me for saying it, but you know what? If we can get the right amount of fighters, the right amount of trainers, the right amount of other promoters that are willing to do it and put heads together and figure out how we could do it the right way, I'm all for it. Unionizing the sport of boxing and making sure our fighters are taken care of the way that people in America likes to worry about their NFL players.
Athletes, yeah.
You worry about your NFL players having CTE and he's being crazy and he's doing it. When you play a certain amount of NFL games, you get a pension, whether it's a small pension or a long one, you get a pension. I know guys in the Arena League that play just the right amount of NFL games that will still get an NFL check. But when in boxing, you don't fight, you don't get paid. Even in the Arena League, if a guy in practice gets hurt, he's going on workers' comp.
Wow.
And he's getting paid. And he's getting paid while he's injured. He got hurt in practice and he's getting paid. And this isn't even in the Arena League, not even the NFL. So you telling me these boxers, I only get paid when I fight. And then, my training, there's nothing that goes into my training. There's nothing that after retirement, whatever I made in my career, that's it. There's no reason why guys like Mickey Ward, there's no reasons why Peter Manfredo Jr., my dad, Scully, any of those guys, those good boxing guys should go back to working full-time jobs when their careers are over.
Peter McNeely.
It's different. If you're a bonehead and you made millions of dollars and you just blew it, that's different.
Yeah.
But because that happens in every sport. That happens in the NBA, the NFL. But if it's just a lack of, Keith Thurman said that his like surgery, I don't know if it was elbow surgery or shoulder surgery, it was like 5 figures. It was like $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 surgery. That's
crazy.
Insane.
Yeah.
We don't have health insurance. Boxing doesn't have health insurance.
That's sad.
So unless you have a job that provides you a health insurance, you might have not even made $50,000 in your career. And now you're looking at a $50,000 surgery.
Yep.
That's not right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We gotta do a better job. We gotta do a better job of making sure that fighters are taken care of and after the fact, and and just find a way to make this sport more civilized. It's a barbaric sport, and you can say, oh, well, fighters know what they're getting into. If you want to make that argument, then I'll make the same argument with football. Football players know what they're getting into. Why we care about them? They know they have a chance of getting their knee blown out or their head cracked. So if you make the argument for them, why can't you make the argument for us?
Yep, no doubt.
We gotta find a way to unionize this sport and make sure that fighters are taken care of, at least with health insurance or something.
That would be beautiful. How do you think we're gonna make that happen? That come to pass?
It's gonna take a collective group. It's gonna take a collective group that's just willing to sacrifice some things for the greater cause. You know, whatever it may be, it's gonna take a lot of heads to think about it. I don't know exactly what we can do, but I know that it's possible. And I feel like boxing is one of the sports that are like tradition. Everyone kind of just follows the tradition of what's always been.
Yep.
You know, just the promoter offers you a fight, you take it. They offer you this much amount of money, you take it, whatever. Like it, you know, nowadays, I think fighters got to realize that they have a lot more say than what they believe.
Yeah.
You know, and it's going to take, it might even take like for you to not be signed and free agent your way around and do your own marketing. You know, you might have to market your own self and start up. But when you make something of yourself, then, you know, obviously skills have to also pay the bills. But I mean, I'll give you an example. Look at Jake Paul. Jake Paul doesn't have to report to no promoter. He's his own promoter.
Yeah, he's doing great.
Yeah,
He's made more money in his first 3 pro fights than some world champions have made in their whole career.
That's right.
And he's
He
fighting
helping
nobody.
others too.
And
He helping others. He
fighting
helping
nobody.
Serrano too.
Yeah.
He's fighting nobody. And Amanda Serrano, the first millionaire female fighter.
Yeah.
You know, so it's definitely
He's a smart Puerto Rican, you know.
Yeah.
He lives in Dorado, so he's
No. But I tell guys nowadays it's hard to fathom. If you come from that old school era, you think skills pay the bills because that's the era we come from, where skills paid the bills. But it's not like that no more. If you got a louder mouth and a better fan base, it don't matter what your skills are like. You're gonna get paid more because you're putting more asses in seats.
That's right.
That's just the era that we're in right now.
The name of the game.
You know, because I know a lot of bad boys that are not making millions of dollars right now, you know, that are bad boys. Rashidi Ellis is a bad boy. Very bad boy. And he's not being mentioned with those Tiafimos and those Tanks and all those guys, you know, and that dude is a bad boy.
Yeah. You're nice.
Yep. Media, politics, it's all about who gets promoted too, I think. I mean, whoever gets seen the most, you know. But the other thing,
I'll tell you what, if I could give advice to any fighters, it's build a kid and female fan base. If you build a kid and female fan base, that's more powerful than having a male fan base. A fighter that was really good with that was Oscar De La Hoya early on. He was like, a lot of females loved him. If you can get females to want to go and see you, females don't really like the sport of boxing, you know, but if you could get females to want to go and see you, that's big, you know. If you become like a people's champion where kids want to go and see you, the parents obviously have to buy their ticket and then buy a ticket for themselves to take the kid. You know, so those are 2 things that you want that fighters, if I could give advice that you want to think about, either be a fan, like the women love you, or let the kids love you, or both.
So where does Popeye fall into that?
I think Popeye falls into both, believe it or not.
The entire
I think the kids and the women love him. That's
everything, man.
Popeye falls into both. He's right, and he's got the talent to back it up. That's the best part about it. He's not just like popularity. Popeye's a bad boy.
Oh man. When's he up next?
That's
Out
to
of the
be
booth.
determined.
We're gonna get him out of the booth, man.
So that's to be determined. I talked to him at my last fight. Let's just say in April, if we do a show, you'll either see him in the building as a commentator or as a fighter, but I won't specify which one.
He did good in the booth, man, but he don't belong in there. He needs to be in
Honestly,
that.
I think a lot of fighters did great in the booth. I was really surprised. I rewatched the
good.
fight, the show at the end. A lot of them had that, they were all good talkers. For the most part, they were all good talkers. They all did very well in the booth when it was their time to get interviewed. I actually liked it a lot. I think I want to continue to keep doing that. That was the first show that I did that, and I think I want to continue to keep doing that. It was nice. I think it's always nice for the fans to personally hear from the fighters. Instead of the media reporting on them, they are talking to the media, and I think that's a huge thing for them.
No doubt, man. So, Coach Rosa, I wanted to touch in. How's my boy Oscar Bonilla?
He's doing great. He was in the gym today. We trained hard, made him sweat.
Yeah.
He's excited to be back in the ring. He was also rusty. Yeah, he looked rusty. They both look rusty, but they did their thing that night at the AJ Rivera show. And I think for the next fight, they'll be looking very sharp.
I think I picked the perfect opponents for both of those guys to get the ring rust off, because you don't get nothing out of going in there and
knocking the guy out.
And
yeah.
But they both fought decisions. They fought guys that were in their face. They got that ring rust. Even Bobby. When Bobby had a long layoff as well on not my Webster show, but my Worcester show. He fought a guy that was sitting there trying to take his. You were there, Mike.
No, he was trying to kill him. Haymaker.
That was a football linebacker.
Yep.
That was a linebacker. That's what he was. That was an NFL linebacker trying to take his head off. But that was the perfect fight for Bobby to get that ring, because now this kid is sharp. He's moving. He's where he needs to be. The reflexes is there. The power is there. The speed's there. So I commend those guys for taking those kind of fights where they know, all right, I'm not going to just go in there and knock this guy out quick. This is going to be a good fight. Get the ring rust off. I'd actually, Oscar's record qualifies for a New England title. So I would like to get a belt around his waist. He came to me early on. So Oscar originally wasn't even on the show. I had a couple fallouts due to COVID. Another fighter caught the flu, and he just came to me respectfully and just appreciative. And I know his background story, and I've seen him fight like once before against the Lumba. So I was just like, I was cool with it. And then, I actually he grew on me and my dad. Like my dad was like, yeah, we got to take care of this kid. Like he grew on just how his demeanor was. And I love when fighters are like that, because there's fighters out there that just come in thinking they're Floyd. They start making all these crazy demands and being just unappreciative. And it's like, bro, if I don't put you on my show, you're gonna be a B-side fighter somewhere else, So, but Oscar's record qualifies for a New England title. So now that he's got that ring rust off, it'd be nice to get a belt around his waist, something that he could bring home for his brother and for his family. I know it'd be a nice little accomplishment for him.
You look good. You look good that night.
Yeah, no, I think he definitely would have benefited more from a 6-round fight than a 4-round fight.
Yeah,
because he was getting casually stronger as the rounds were going on, and those guys, I noticed that with a lot of Puerto Rican just fighters, it's just the fight style. They break you down over the course of a fight. They're never gonna be early starters. I don't personally know in all my years of boxing any Puerto Rican fighters that are early starters. My dad didn't get his gears going to like the 5th, 6th round. Trinidad wasn't like an early starter either. Cotto wasn't like, they held their own, but they really got stronger as fights went on. You look at Wilfredo, the first round, he let Carlos take it, whatever, but you just get stronger as the rounds go on. Same thing, And even in Bobby's fight with that jacked guy, Zapata, I felt like Bobby was getting stronger as in the later rounds. Maybe he was getting angrier, but he was starting to look at this dude. Remember when he waved to him and they boop, 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 boop. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
It just it's just their style, you know. So
Love it, man.
I love it.
Well, listen, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. I don't believe I actually corralled all you people on the screen tonight. Thank you so much for coming through. Bobby Harris 3, Coach Luis Rosa, Wilfredo Pagan, and my boy co-host AJ Rivera tonight. Great show, guys. Great combo.
Before we go, let everyone get some shout outs. You got any sponsors, team members, family members you want to shout out? Feel free.
Wilfredo, you go first.
Well, I got a huge list of my sponsors. You know, I got some people that I can't, you know, let them behind. They always supporting me. You can say they support me with the sponsorship and even ready to get into a fight. So my people, I love them. I got RMG, Renaissance Medical Group, People's Barbershop, Southbridge, Timeless Society, Lopez Towing, Giuliani's Fongo. Those are my people from Puerto Rico. Jacqueline Smith, a realtor. Beautiful Creation by Ingrid. That's my wife. That's one of the biggest supporters. So Avis Nutrition Club, Ace Shipney Solution, Sean Majestic Funeral Home, First Time Contracting Fencing, and Strongbox. Those are my sponsors. Always thank you guys. You guys like helping me a lot, and you know, hopefully see you guys again on the next one.
You know it. You know, absolutely. Wilfredo, thank you for coming through tonight, my man.
All right, brother. My pleasure.
Coach, you got anyone you want to shout out?
I just say thank you to my wife for always supporting me and helping me out with the guys. And thank you to all you, to you and your dad.
I need relationship advice on how you did it for so many years. Happily married.
Oh. Well, I put
drop
God
a
first
gem on me.
Drop a gem
on me. I want to be like you when I grow up.
You gotta. It's like a boxing match. Some rounds you're gonna lose them, and then you gotta come back. You know, but you can't let the you know, it's a secret. You can't let the wife become the man of the house, but you can't be so aggressive where you're not giving her a chance. So you know, you
gotta treat it like sparring. You gotta take some rounds off.
Some rounds you gotta let her beat you up a little bit and make her feel like she's in control. Then the next day you wake up and you tell her, baby, I love you, but I'm the head of the house, you know. And little by little, you know, you jab a little jab here, you know. But you know, the woman always, we need the woman more than we think we do, you know, because they are a gift from God to us. Because in the Bible, God said that man was lonely, Adam was lonely, so he created Eve. God created men first. We didn't need a woman, but since he saw men lonely, that's how he created woman, and that's how my wife is a part of me and everything that I do. And you know, we have our good days, our not so good days, but we remember why we married. You know, the reason why we married, and we want to continue to. We've been together 30, almost 32 years.
Blessings to you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's crazy. I don't think aside from my great grandparents who were together for like 63 years, I don't have a relationship in my family that have lasted that long. I've only seen divorces growing up.
How about you? Did you get married already?
So we're engaged. Next step is marriage, but you know, I'm trying to find all the advice I can from the happily married people to help me have a successful marriage, and not, you know, I don't want 2 or 3, 4 marriages, you know. It's a scary commitment for me because, like I said, I only know one marriage that have lasted that many years. Every other marriage I've ever seen in my life, they never lasted. So I like to find out from good long married couples what it takes to get to that next level.
Yeah. Always, before you go to bed, you got to make sure that if you're mad, you tell her we can't be mad when you go to sleep. Always make sure that you give her a kiss and that y'all can talk after, before you don't go to sleep being angry. You got to make up before you go to bed, before you close your eyes. But I think you're bright enough to, if you ask that question, I think you're gonna be successful in your marriage. I believe so. You're very smart. I see you. I see everything that you do. I follow you more than you know. And when a young man does the great things that you do, I'm impressed, and I'm proud of you.
I appreciate you.
Phenomenal, man.
Thank you.
Phenomenal.
Thank you.
Listen, guys, we're gonna do it again soon. Like I said, we're gonna have-
Bobby's phone died. We would have did Bobby's shout out too, but his wife texted me. His phone died, so that's why it's taking logged on. But it was great talking to you guys. We'll see everyone next week.
Next
God bless
week will
you.
be every Wednesday. Check us out. Coach Rosa, thank you again. AJ,
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate it.
you're welcome anytime, my man.
All right, brother. God bless, man.
Blessings.